when we bought the property, we had already existing bids for apartments. And that bid wouldn't have worked for a hotel, so we went and got new bids for a hotel. And it was pretty extensive. I mean, it wasn't like it was a casual approach to the bidding process. It was very serious. And it came back, I mean, I think it was $11 or $12 million or something along those lines. But when you take into the federal tax credits, and if you're so lucky to get the Illinois state tax credits, which is almost impossible, then it's 45% off, most of the building, most of the project. There are a lot of things that aren't included in that. But then all of a sudden, you have to, well, sometimes I think folks don't realize is, you have so many rooms times so many nights, minus your cost, and then your profit. That's the way it goes. And, at that price, it worked really well. But then when we went through the design phase and completed that whole process, it inched up towards 18, 19, 20 million. And the property can't produce that kind of revenue.
You're not making a Super 8.
Correct. I'm not going to. Yeah.
This is this is
Yeah.
going to be special. And as long as I still get my cigar bar, we're fine.
I want to talk with you about that.
Great.
Yeah.
Yes.
So we're
just put it in perspective, though, that this project is
Could be 20 million.
it could be a $20 million project.
Yeah.
And what you're looking at now is getting potential, like you said, state grants that are almost impossible to come by, but you are applying.
There were either 567 or 650 applicants.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's weird how Illinois does it. We've done this before in other states. We've always won both federal and state. Because most projects won't work without them. They
Sure.
won't, they don't cash
not
flow.
in the I guess the millions.
Yeah, because it's so expensive. Because when you're contracted with the United States government, and it's a historic building, there are certain things you can't do.
Mm-hmm.
In exchange for 20%.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's fair. Right?
Yeah.
But it's expensive. I mean, it increased the cost. If we're going to give you money, then you have to keep all these architectural significant things.
Which one of those things that we talked about one time when we were having coffee, I did, like at first when he said something, I was like, well, then just knock it down. And he's like,
Sure, Britt.
yeah, I know,
Yeah.
I know. But then he
Knock
told
it
me
down.
about the architectural value, and I was like, oh, choking on the coffee myself. I'm like, I can't believe I suggested that.
Well, it's the more you know moment.
Yeah.
It really, and people read headlines or you hear about a project, but when you get down to the brass tacks of Sixth and Hampshire, it's a stunning building.
Mm-hmm.
And no one is knocking down the door to do this project because it's going to be, it's really very complicated. And so where we are with it is we are very, Illinois increased the Illinois state tax credits.
I heard.
Tripled them,
Mhm.
something for us. Amazing.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so we are third in line out of 650 people. So we'll find out in 3 weeks.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah, it's
Great.
possible. We don't know the value of those others.
Yeah.
Right.
And so we're really needing those for this project to take place. But we've got a great team of consultants. I mean, our conference calls are extensive and wide and deep. And I think, what's so great about it is so many, what I find what I've discovered about our projects is that the people that we try to work with match the heart of the community. And then all of a sudden, our projects become their projects, even though they're not from here. They actually want it as much as we do.
Be invested.
Even though they're not from here.
Yeah.
And I think that's pretty extraordinary.
Yeah.
Yeah. So cigar bar.
Cigar bar, yes.
Do you know where in my mind where I have it going is the Octagon.
I know.
Yeah.
That's what I've heard.
Who told you that?
You did.
Did I? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was 2 years ago,
Oh.
so okay.
Well, so
But
see,
yeah.
you-
So it's been about, yeah.
You know what I've learned if you just put things out.
Because I
Flight.
said, if that's not, then that could be like a maybe Muddy River News satellite office. I don't know, but that's a cool that little kiosk there. It's that will be awesome.
Do you know there's an underground road that goes to it?
Mm-hmm.
Because that's how they got the cash.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. So yeah.
It's such,
It is cool.
it's just extraordinary.